How was the shoot?
It was fun. It was a lot of work. Like, it was too much work.
I mean, you wrote it. You're directing it.
Yeah.
You're the star.
Setting up lights occasionally.
Really?
Yeah. Started like having chest pains and stuff. But hey, you gotta sacrifice for this stuff.
Okay, and welcome back here at the French Podcast. I'm sitting here with my good friend, Bridge Stewart, the writer, director, star of A Fantastic Relationship. Now on Prime Video. Everybody go out, rent, buy A Fantastic Relationship. I just did recently, and it's awesome. It's fantastic.
It's awesome. Yeah,
it's really
this
great.
is true.
It's really great. Well,
Yeah.
Bridge, it's great to meet you.
Yeah, great.
Thanks for
meeting you
coming
too.
on,
Yeah,
man.
Thanks for having me on this.
You're the embodiment of the type of person that I want to have on this show.
This is good.
You know, you wrote this movie, you directed this movie, you star in this movie. You probably had a ton to do with making this movie
I was the COVID
happen.
compliance officer as well. So,
Were you actually?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
That might be
You gotta do
my
everything.
favorite role in this movie.
That's right. That's how the first guy I had on here, Kyle, that's how he kind of got in a little bit. He was COVID compliance.
Yeah.
He lied that he lived in LA.
That's what you got to do.
Got the certification, flew out for this movie, and he was COVID compliance. Got paid like nothing, but foot in the door.
It's the foot in the door of
Yeah,
this
yeah.
industry is pretending you're a medical professional.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to start at the beginning for you,
Sure.
just a little bit at least. Where do you come from originally?
I am originally from Washington State.
Okay.
And I just, from a young age, I was always into movies. I loved movies and wanted to, produce movies and make that stuff. And so I went to school down here. I did business, but also a little film production, and just immediately kind of got into the industry. I started working in visual effects, post-production. I've worked kind of everything. Like I've worked as a grip, an electrician, assistant director, makeup, just kind of whatever. Never a master of anything. Like I never was like that good at anything. I could sustain for a few years at each position. And then moved on, which probably wasn't the smartest move, but hey, you learn a lot. And so I kind of just worked jobs in the industry, and like kind of a thing that sort of motivated me to like start making my own stuff was I worked at this company. I don't know if it's around anymore. Funny or Die.
Yeah.
I was like,
I remember that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
like, I think of Pete Holmes, right?
Yeah.
Is that Pete Holmes with like the Batman?
Yeah. So I was like doing just like production stuff with them. I was on the crew, and just seeing how, I don't want to say cheap, but yeah, it was cheap. They just shot it for cheap, like all these things that looked okay for the time. And it sort of motivated me to make my own stuff. And so, owned my own things online, made a bunch of shorts. And that's kind of how I kicked off making my own stuff, was making
Sure.
shorts for YouTube and online. And it's how I met a lot of people and opened up a lot of doors, is just making your own stuff, and
Yeah.
getting it out there.
Yeah, exactly. So where'd you go to school? Here?
I went to Loyola Marymount.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's down.
Just down over there?
It's down the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you graduate there? Not to try to figure out how old you are.
What was it? 08.
Oh, wait.
I'm
okay.
old. I'm old as shit.
So
Yeah.
then-
I remember
yeah?
the 80s. Yeah.
That's crazy. Were you actually born in the 80s?
I was born in the 80s. Yeah.
Look at you. Let's
Yeah.
go. So you've been in LA ever since?
Yes, I've been here
Okay.
18 years or something. Yeah.
And mostly, you said you come from Los Feliz. Is that you've been on the east side for most of it?
Nah, I was out here for a while.
You
I was
were
in
west side?
Culver. Yeah. I hopped around
Okay.
all sorts of places.
Me
Yeah.
too. I started in North Hollywood, was there for a hot second, and then I like North Hollywood.
I like North Hollywood. I
It's
do.
cool.
I don't like the heat, but I like that it feels like
It's incredibly hot.
you kind of take like a time machine to LA in like the 1990s, I feel like, and that's what I like about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, we were right by like the metro stop, so we saw some wild stuff go down
Nice.
right at the metro stop. But yeah, that's where we started in LA. Okay, so you go to Loyola. You've been out here ever since. Um, what was like? What got you into movies? What was the first thing? So you initially were kind of business at Loyola.
Yeah.
Did you have like a minor in film, or were you just doing stuff because you were out here?
I eventually shifted over to film.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you majored in it?
I majored.
It was just film.
Yeah. Made double major. Yeah.
Okay.
Look at me.
Look at you.
look
Smart
look
guy.
at me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you immediately just started working in productions. And
I did.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, what was I doing right out of school? I worked for a visual effects company. Yeah,
Mhm.
at first. And then I realized like I hated that. And then
why'd you hate that?
I was just in a dark room all day. And you
Yeah.
know, I get it. Like I'm just not good at it either. Like so I was bad at being in a dark room. And yeah, that so and back then it was a lot easier to like kind of shift around. Like
Sure.
I'll just say there was like more job opportunities back then.
Oh shit, did you come?
Did I disconnect?
Yeah. No, it just came out. It should just plug back into your right ear, right under you.
Okay.
Yeah. That is the Amazon bot cord.
Oh, nice.
That is my fault for paying $7 instead of paying $15.
No, this is
My
nice.
bad.
This works.
Really nice.
Yeah.
High tech. Okay, so you didn't like visual effects. Well, even going further back, what caused you to come to Loyola from Washington?
Just I always liked movies, you know? I mean, I think
Okay.
like the first Jurassic Park. I'll
Yeah.
just say it, Jurassic Park was
Yeah.
was the one.
Was
I remember
the-
seeing that and being like, damn. Like these dinosaurs are fucking awesome. And yeah, I want to make stuff like that.
That's funny. I just got married and we just went on a honeymoon to Kauai.
Oh, nice.
And they had all those like where exactly they shot like Jurassic Park. So I was like pointing
Very
out.
cool.
We actually went out around. Have you been down to Hawaii or Kauai before?
No.
They have these where they like have those like big like helicopter like scenes where they're going into the island. It's like the Nepali
Through that
coast.
canyon?
Hell
yeah.
There's like this boat. You have to take this long boat like all the way around from like one of the main harbors. It takes a while.
Yeah.
And my wife and I would say probably 50% of the females were just puking their guts out.
Really?
It's literally like it's so funny. It reminded me of dogs pooping in like beautiful places.
Yeah.
It's just like the most beautiful like cliffs. It was a bright sunny day and like all of these women just puking over the sides of the boat. It was pretty
Oh, it
nuts.
was a boat. For some reason, I was imagining them puking out of a helicopter.
That would
Like,
have happened
they're-
too, but yeah, no, there was like 100 of us, and I would say there's 20 girls just all puking.
That's awesome.
It felt
Yeah.
like what was that one movie that all the rich people, not Force Majeure, his other movie,
The Triangle of Sadness.
all the puking. That's what
Yeah.
it reminded me of. Yeah. Anyways,
Just some boat puking. I like
Yes,
this.
yes. Puking's never not funny.
It's not. What's your favorite puke? Like either scene from a
Oh.
movie or real life. I mean, favorite puke moment.
Well, there's one I just saw in your movie.
Oh yeah.
That's an awesome
I
puke
forgot my
scene.
movie had that. Yeah.
Really? Well, I love that puke scene.
Yeah,
I
pretty
mean,
good.
Triangle of Sadness is a great puke.
Team America had a pretty good one.
Yes, that's probably the all-time puke.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, so Jurassic Park. Any other like influences?
So yeah, it started with Jurassic Park. I'm trying to think of what I was into back then. I feel like I was a big like Coen Brothers guy.
Okay.
Like back then, sort of, and I still am. You know, just very kind of dry.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Like
And
what? Like Raising Arizona? Would that be?
Raising Arizona. Yeah, Fargo.
Yeah.
Was a big one. And that and just like all the Larry David stuff was a big thing
Okay.
for me. Like Seinfeld, Curb, obviously. Like that stuff was a huge
Sure.
I found that stuff to be so funny
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I was there, and I still do, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that was a huge influence for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So then you're out here. When did you start making your own stuff? And what was that stuff?
Well, I mean, you know, I was making stuff in like high school with
Okay.
the camera and stuff, but I feel like I started taking it like, you know, in college, obviously working on stuff, but it was right after college. My roommate and I started like doing the whole YouTube thing because it was kind of the earlier days of YouTube,
Sure.
and we had a channel that you know, we would try and get things up pretty consistently, and it did pretty well, and it actually like kind of opened up the first doors of my career, I guess. I got a ton of meetings through, you know, videos that would go viral and stuff there, and yeah, when you start making stuff and people start paying attention and things like that, that's when you're like, I can actually like maybe pursue this further, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. So it was around, yeah, just after college, I think I was really trying. And that's also when I was like starting to write scripts and stuff and feature scripts. I always wanted to make a feature. So,
Okay. There you
yeah.
go. Did you go to acting classes or anything like that? Or did you just start
Not really.
messing around in front of camera?
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
I mean,
know.
we just like back then we were just putting ourselves in the videos and just messing around, and yeah, I think you know our thing was just try to be as natural as possible. So
Right.
yeah,
That's
we were
awesome.
just like it was always a competition. I feel like with the actors, just who could be like the most real, I guess. And
Okay.
that just was kind of our acting classes, was just yeah, acting in our own stuff. Yeah.
As it should be. As it
Yeah.
should be. I think, yeah. I kind of did some of it's like a whole culture out here, like the whole acting classes and that
Yeah.
whole like rat race, which it can work incredibly well for like a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly I found it, you know,
Did you
but
take? Did you do that?
I did
Oh yeah.
for a while.
Nice.
And one, it's crazy expensive. It's like really expensive.
Sure.
At least I thought it was expensive. They are great and they are intensive, but I think something like what you were doing, uh, actually being in front of camera and doing it, being creative in all the different aspects, whether it's also writing your own scripts,
Yeah.
you know, can really get you there like a little bit quicker.
I think
Playing.
hold for playing.
Yeah.
I think
It's fine.
I thi-
Whatever.
I
We're
thi-
embracing it. There was a
let's
guy.
embrace the
There was a
playing.
guy screaming the other day when we were recording. I just saw him like over Remy's shoulder. I don't think she even noticed, but there was just like a guy just like screaming. I don't think these mics even picked it up.
Really?
So it's
They
fine.
don't pick up screams.
Apparently not.
Yeah. Anti-scream microphones.
I know.
Yeah.
2025.
Nice.
Yeah, that's just being in Venice. But anyways.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what we were talking about. Oh, producing your own stuff. Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of the way to do it now. Like, is you just have to make your own stuff. You know, I mean, I think whether you're an actor, writer, or whatever you want to do in this industry now, I mean, it's like it's shifted so much to online in the past
Yeah.
10, 15 years that, yeah, you just kind of have to make your own stuff if you want to
Right.
get ahead, I guess.
Right, which you were kind of ahead of the curve a little bit then, by like doing it. I feel like before it was like mandatory, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
I wasn't consistent enough to become
Sure.
like a professional online person, you know.
Well,
So
the
it
internet's a
was-
horrible place.
yeah,
It's a horrible
yeah.
place, and it's just, I mean, it's difficult. It's also difficult just to put something out there. You know, you obviously said that some of your stuff like really hit, and it was, you know, a lot of people were watching it, but there's also plenty of times where you think something would hit and it just nothing,
Oh yeah,
you know. And that's
way more than not.
and that's a hard part of the internet too. It's hard when somebody is like being mean to you in the comments or something, but it also
Sure.
sucks when that person isn't there.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like you were a little bit ahead of the curve, at least doing it back then. Um,
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So then you were writing. You had this idea of, making a movie. You were actively doing shorts. Was it short films, or you're just like pretty much just like sketches?
More sketches.
Okay,
I want to say short films, but they were sketches. Yeah.
sketches. Okay. So then, where did this was in like what timeline was this?
This was like 10 years. Like, this was
Sure.
like 10 years of, working in the industry,
Yeah.
working on set, working in post production, and producing things on the side, essentially.
Okay.
Producing online, sketches and comedy stuff, and, producing web series for companies as well. There's a few out there that exist.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna like advertise right now
No.
because like I'd say half of them suck. So the yeah, just doing that and hustling with that, and then kind of building my own YouTube channel.
Sure.
And yeah, that's ultimately what led to making the movie. Is through the YouTube channel I was able to get like funding, essentially.
Okay.
So that's yeah, it helped launch the movie. That was always the goal, was to get enough of a fan base,
Sure.
I guess, to be able to produce the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so you were always thinking about, you were working in production, you were always thinking about or writing scripts. How many different scripts did you write, including A Fantastic Relationship,
Oh my God.
of like features?
Features probably 15.
Really?
Yeah, over all those years, yeah, probably
Yeah.
15 features, and then probably like 7 or 8 pilots. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, just a lot of writing, and I think a lot of people feel this way, is right, especially right now in the industry, is just feeling a little discouraged with you run through the racket, not the racket, but you run through the gauntlet of meeting with producers and meeting with, I guess, studio people, and meeting with, you know, people, I guess, on the inside who you have these meetings with. You pitch the script, they love it, they ask for rewrites,
Mm-hmm.
and repeat, and
Yeah.
for years you can do this. I know people that have written a bunch of scripts and kind of make a living off of it and never get anything really made.
Crazy.
It's like worse now than it was 10 years ago. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I'm not the only one, they think you just need to make your own stuff, by any means necessary. Otherwise, you can get stuck in this sort of development hell with a lot of projects and stuff. And that was a big motivating factor, is just like making something
Sure.
at the end of the day. Might not make a lot of money. Probably won't. It won't. But, you'll be able to say you made something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before we get into A Fantastic Relationship, I thought it was, I don't know, man. I've seen, I was really blown away by it, honestly.
Oh, thank you, man.
Like
Thank you.
I really identified, and we can get into your process of writing. I really identified with like a lot of these characters that you were able to like put on screen, and like
Oh,
identify
thank you.
with like even the weird one, um, you know, uh, your girlfriend, you. At some points in those movies, or in that movie, I just felt like they said something like, "Oh wow, that I feel like that." How did you pick A Fantastic Relationship out of all of these scripts that you decided, okay, I'm gonna put my full energy into this one and make it happen?
Well, I had written a bunch of, all those scripts and stuff. There was always the idea of like, there would need to be not a sizable budget, but at least a budget,
Mm-hmm.
behind it. And uh, at the end of like at the, just after going through the gauntlet of pitching these concepts to people, and trying to think about how to produce things, and being limited by budget, I started really writing that script in particular with like producer hat on. So just almost purely budget with budget in mind and with actors in mind. So that movie was kind of probably the second script I ever wrote that I wrote it entirely with the idea of producing it myself, and not waiting on some sort of production company to fund it, and try and get funding on my own, essentially, and could shoot it very cheaply, and so this, I mean, it was like the 15th script. I haven't I mean, it was the final script I wrote, obviously, before making, but like it was very much a product of, I want to make this thing. I don't want to wait on anybody to help me make this. And so that it was just a project that was born from essentially circumstances that could be under my control. Yeah.
Okay. How low of a budget was it? Because I mean, there were still things I've seen low budget movies.
Yeah.
And I don't, how much money did it take?
I mean, it was under like 80.
Really?
80 grand. Yeah.
How did you raise that money?
Through, just independent funders. A lot of them were from YouTube. So like, a lot of the people were, over the years, a lot of people contacted me that were followers of the YouTube channel that were like, hey, do you have a Patreon, that I can give to? And I was like, no, but, I want to make a movie at some point. And so wait on that. And then I'm going to start asking you for money. And, I did that. And I gathered enough people over the years and got enough people together to give to this project. I saved up and put money into it, asked friends, family, all that stuff. And just, there's a lot of investors with this. It was just a big pool of people. And so, I just kind of built it up over the years and then I blew it all on this film. So
that's awesome.
It was worth it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is going to live on forever, and it's such a great movie. And how was it, like Seed and Spark? Was it just like reaching out to people?
It was reaching out to people individually. Yeah. Okay. And just building the whole legal agreement and everything with the waterfall agreement and stuff like that. But it was just a lot of contacting people. Yeah.
When did this process start?
It like years. I mean, this movie, 7 or 8 years, from the initial idea and thinking of getting fundraisers and fundraising for it too.
Wow.
The eventual production. Wow. Yeah.
So you had like the script written like 7 or 8 years ago?
No, I was starting to come up with the idea. Okay. Yeah. And then with that, starting to pool together all the people who could get money for it. Yeah.
Well, did it start as like the idea of, here, real quick, do you want to do a quick pitch, like a log line?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So I made a movie. It's called A Fantastic Relationship, and it's about a couple that break up, and they have to pretend like they're still together in order to go through with a dinner party that neither of them really want to go to, but they're sort of inclined to go to. It's a comedy film. Yeah.
And it's great. It's really great.
It's great.
Go buy it on
Amazon.
Amazon.
Buy it now. Yeah.
So when did things really start picking up?
Well, we shot it in 2022. So we shot it 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And things were picking up before that, obviously, just in regards to getting the funding together. And then once the funding was together, it was about 2021, 2022 when things started getting set in motion. And we shot it in mid 2022. And then I edited the whole thing after that and did the festival circuit. And that was kind of the timeline. Yeah.
You edited the whole thing?
Yeah.
On what?
Premiere.
On Premiere?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. I work as an editor now.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you had a lot of experience in that. Well, I mean
Yeah.
that gives you, and you see a ton of that nowadays. Um, filmmakers like editing. I think of initially when I think of that, oh, I think of David Lowery. Do you know who David Lowery is? He did movies like A Ghost Story. He did a movie
Oh yeah.
called A Green Knight.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I remember I heard some interview. David Lowery is incredible. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen A Ghost Story or A Green Knight, they're both fantastic.
Both rule.
He talked about it was over COVID that he edited the whole thing of Green Knight, which is like a
Really?
huge A24 production. He just
Yeah.
sat on it and he said in like a dark room for like over a year, just like messing with it. And it's such an incredible movie. But you hear about that too. Also, Trey Edward Schultz, I think, does a lot of editing as well
Yeah.
in his new movie too. So that's crazy. So I mean, that's just like another testament to as much as you can know going into like something. If you know how to edit, if you know how to like use Premiere Pro,
Yeah.
I mean, how much it would have cost you to have somebody else edit it,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would have.
and creative control, and
And you're just working on somebody else's timeline,
So-
when you've got another editor, like, unless you've got a lot of money to sort of convince them to work on deadlines,
Yeah.
you're sort of at their, you're sort of letting them kind of take control of the timeline. And, we were at a race against time with some of the film festival stuff. So, like, I just was, kind of editing in a dark room a lot of the time, and which I enjoyed, it was nice piecing it together. Yeah. And I had edited all the other stuff, like the sketches and stuff. So I kind of feel like I've built a understanding of comedic timing with editing. Yeah.
Absolutely. So kind of going back to the writing and how you were feeling while you were, how were you like as a person, like working in the film industry, doing these different production jobs, doing sketch comedy and these little YouTube videos on the side, but also writing these features? Did you feel like you were in a good place, a happy place? Was it kind of all over the place? It can be, I just asked that just because it is kind of chaotic and like living out here and seeing other people, whether it's, and I feel like this is a big theme in your movie, seeing other people do really big things and how that reflects on how you feel about yourself.
Sure. It's the highs and lows. Ultimately pursuing something that I find meaning in, and I think a lot of people in the film industry feel that way. So even though like the pay sucks sometimes, and you're not necessarily completely dialed in financially, and you sacrifice a lot to work in this industry, because it's like it's not steady and it's kind of tumultuous, and it's some days it feels like it's falling apart, but I mean it's ups and downs, but ultimately if you're doing what you love, that's all that matters.
Sure.
And it just, if you're making something, that for me is the most important thing. Is just, as long as I'm making something, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy.
Did you have like lulls or times where you were not really creating stuff and it was difficult?
Yeah. There was times where it's like you would get sucked into the cycle of, like doing script rewrites for a year or something, and people giving you notes, and just all you're doing is rewriting stuff. And then it doesn't get made, and you're like, okay, well, on to the next thing. And things like that would bum me out, honestly, and it would bum anybody out. I don't enjoy just writing to write, I mean, I like writing, but like I want to make something. That's ultimately the goal. So I mean, there's always going to be lulls, in making stuff. You just got to keep your eyes on the prize, I guess.
I ask all those kind of like feelings questions just because I do know a decent amount of people right now that, and including me, kind of going through the ringer a little bit of like, fuck, what's happening in this city right now, and it's like, what's going to happen in the future for us right now. So I just kind of wanted to get your thought process on how are you feeling.
Do you feel like nihilistic about the industry right now?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah.
I've heard, I had Kyle on. He's a producer, and he talked a little bit about. He's kind of got his ear to the ground. He works at a really solid production company, so he's kind of got his ear to the ground as to what things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't feel as good. Remy's a much more positive person. She thinks that taste and things are going to change and make things better. As far as need or want or demand for film, TV, productions, especially here in LA. But I mean, you do see it too much on social media as to like things are really bad.
Yeah, I mean, did you see that like Google AI thing that dropped the text to video?
No.
Man, it's like
AI.
Yeah, it's like video AI. Man, I know like people have been sounding the alarm thing about this for a while, but like, man, it looks so real. Like,
does it?
If somebody hadn't told me it was AI, I wouldn't know. Like,
really?
It's like, it's so good looking, and it's just like, is this just the future here? Is this like, are we going to be shooting stuff in the future? I don't know.
How does that? Yeah. Do you feel? Because you can look at that in one sort of way where it's like that really helps low budget filmmakers to get cool stuff on screen for not as much money, or does it feel like it's just going to take over all of us?
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Is it just going to be people in a room putting prompts into these programs as opposed to going out with people and filming stuff and having actors? I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like people, I haven't seen what you're talking about, but I feel like people have a decent grasp as to like, this is AI, this sucks right now. And they can like kind of tell right now, but I mean, who the fuck knows where, 3-5 years from now, if we're going to be able to tell.
It's like that. And then the combination of that and just like specifically TikTok, like, and I'm guilty of spending time on TikTok, just scrolling. And I wonder if younger people, I don't want to sound like an old man, but like, I was at a wedding recently and I was talking with the groom's brother who was like, he was 19 and like, he was like, yeah, I don't really watch movies. Like, and I'm like, and he's like, yeah, and most of my friends don't watch movies either. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll see. So, we'll see.
Yeah, my brother is 21, 22, and similar type of thing. But the thing is, with those kids, when they get into something, they're really into something. So I think it's just like a matter of whether it's TikTok becoming uncool now or like taste changing. Some movies come out in a different sort of way that really capture their attention. I mean, like the fucking Minecraft movie.
Yeah. He did say he watched that 19-year-old kid watched that.
I mean, that's obviously like IP, and these kids have to feel like they connect to something to be able to like actually go to the movie theater.
Yeah.
But if we can find a way for them to like connect to something that doesn't have to be IP, that they can still relate to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's good, I guess. It just has to be good. Yeah.
Right. It is kind of hard for. I mean, I love all the old stuff, and I love all those techniques and all those types of movies, and them I'm begging my brother to watch. I think if they just gave it, if it became. And I feel like it kind of has. I do see stuff on TikTok. Maybe it's just my algorithm where like kids are talking about like, oh my God, I just found this like awesome movie from the 90s. And then it like kind of takes off for a little bit. I don't know. Who knows? So you filmed it in 2022. How long did it take to film? Did you do it all at once or did you piece it out?
It was all most of it was shot in like 3 weeks. So it was a 14-day shoot and then like a day of pickups. So roughly 14 days. Yeah.
Okay. How was the shoot?
It was fun. It was a lot of work. Like it was too much work.
I mean, you wrote it. You're directing it.
Yeah.
You're the star.
setting up lights occasionally.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Kind of doing makeup.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I set up all this stuff, and that was like, yeah, I'm like, oh, geez, what is going on? I mean, you're thinking about 500 million different things. I mean, at the same time, that it does have to feel cool at times, where it's like, this is my thing. I'm doing everything. This is awesome. It's like the ultimate form of creativity. But I can't imagine. I'm like a very anxious and like get stressed out person.
Yeah.
Were you feeling it? That
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
the whole like 3 weeks?
Well, okay. So, oh no. Oh no.
He had 2 lawn chairs. I guess I'm gonna be going on to Amazon to buy 2 more.
Rough. It was super stressful. Like it sucked. Honestly, the pre-production was the worst because you're just worried everything's gonna go wrong, and it almost did. Like
Yeah, what was the thing that almost fell apart?
the SAG was really rough. Like
Okay.
they didn't approve the movie until the day before, I think, and that was like submitting to them 3 months prior. And just some of the COVID stuff was kind of tough to wrangle. Dealing with like actors, agents, and managers was really, really rough because it was a low budget film.
Yeah.
So it was things like that. The things that are out of your controls that are the most terrifying. But I mean, yeah, I would just really recommend to the people out there, get a good team.
Yeah, what's your biggest piece of advice going into your first feature?
Get a really good team together. And I was lucky enough to have had that for the most part. I probably should have started earlier. I was doing most of the pre-production up until a week and a half before we started. Like I got all the insurance, I got did all the SAG paperwork, kind of getting the equipment, all that, getting the crew together, cast, call sheets, building the schedule. I kind of just did all that. Saved a lot of money, but
that's a lot on you, man.
It was pretty exhausting. Like I started like having chest pains and stuff. But hey, you gotta sacrifice for this stuff. But
man.
If you can, get a team to do it for you and then take credit for it. That's the way to go. Yeah.
What piece of it? What piece of all of that? What was it? The dealing with managers, agents? Was that the hardest piece, or what else? Or the SAG?
Locations was tough.
Yeah.
Budget was tough.
Yeah. Because you guys had a good amount of locations. And some really cool locations. Like the final, like the whole like dinner scene.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Oh yeah.
That was so
great.
Cool.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better like place to. Yeah. This is perfect.
The agents managers was pretty rough. I mean,
crazy.
It was just like one of the big crucial parts. They told me that they would rip this person off the shoot if they got another gig, and that was rough. I woke up in a cold sweat every day thinking this person's going to get off the shoot. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. They told me this the day before production began. So, yeah. So, I mean, you just gotta, I forget what phrase me and the other producer on it. It was like, just like,
what was the other
embrace the
name?
Madness. Thomas Cross.
Thomas Cross.
Yeah.
Embrace the madness.
Yeah. You just have to, anything could go wrong at any moment and probably will, but you just have to like ride with it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ride the
What is that? What is that from an Interstellar? What was her name? Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
It's Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law.
That's right. That's right. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. That's crazy. That's the biggest. Oh my God. I would be so frustrated. Because I would be thinking of like anything else to go wrong. But we can cut any of this.
Oh no, it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But that would drive me That would drive me crazy. And the little experience of like, working with other actors or trying to get other people to do something, especially in today's environment, like it's not like there's a ton of work. And this is an awesome like movie. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of venting as to
Oh,
like,
yeah,
this
no.
is a great like, passion project movie. How many of these types of movies can like actors really be? Anyways, okay. So you you go into production. You're it's tough. It's stressful. What were, if you can share like a moment with me that you were on set where you're like, this is fucking awesome. This is like the dream.
It was usually, I mean, there was a couple moments. It was usually when seeing somebody's performance. Yeah, that's always what sort of I'm into. That's what I like the most, is seeing when, an actor elevates the material. You're right. I mean, I think I've always kind of like, there's actors that are kind of like bad, and then there's like good actors, and then there's actors that'll take what you've written and take it to another level that you didn't even think of. And seeing when that happens, and kind of seeing that magic in the playback, I guess, is one of my favorite moments. So, Hilty, who played the friend. Man, I'm forgetting these names now.
Yeah, you shot it 3 years ago.
Yeah, Katie's best friend. She.
Unreal.
Yeah, she's great.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That first scene of her on the couch with her phone, and I was thinking like, that's a tricky role and a tricky part, and it can feel very like, whether it's overdone or like, but she just like knocks it out of the park. That's like,
she's great. Yeah,
that was great.
And
that's
seeing,
a really cool part.
And it was great. I'm probably not gonna act in the next one, because like that was one of my favorite moments, was being just behind the monitor, because I wasn't in that scene, and just like being able to watch her do that performance, and that was one of my favorite moments. Yeah.
How was it? You were directing, you were setting lights up, and how was it then you had to go give the performance? How do you get your mind right?
It was kind of nice. Like did
it feel like seamless?
Yeah,
you were
because
able to flow into it.
I always feel like I kind of just turn my having to think brain off when I act. Like with acting, I feel like it's more just like I guess like instinctual. Like it's more like from the gut, as opposed to having to be super. When you're on set, when I was directing, I was thinking about all the things that I have to do and all the things that are happening, and like, okay, where's the light? What's the blocking? But then when you're acting, you just kind of get to turn it off and act. All the prep work was done. So the lines are memorized. So yeah.
Good to go. Did you storyboard or
Little
anything like that?
No, I shot listed. Yeah.
Shot list, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, the whole thing with it was just kind of keep a naturalistic, almost documentary-ish kind of vibe to it. So we sort of just kind of, had a rough shot list, but sort of just went where it felt like the camera was motivated, and yeah, it's kind of instinctual with that. Yeah.
It looked awesome.
Oh,
it looked so good.
The DP, Ben Joyner, he worked magic with that. He's really good.
So you you shot for 3 weeks. Did you have to go and like reshoot anything, or was that
Well, I mean, it's very much a movie that's kind of almost episodic. Like, it was scene after scene after scene that, it's very much a kind of adventure where they travel to different characters and locations and things. And so a lot of it was going to a location, shooting there for a day, and then leaving. Like, that was kind of the rhythm of a lot of the shoot. So we got all that pretty much done. And then at the end of it all, while I was editing, I was like, I really need just like a car driving to all these locations, it's a nice little reset from every scene.
Yeah.
To have this car driving, throw some fun kind of soul music over it,
Yeah,
and
and it's fun to see LA.
yeah, it's fun to see LA, and yeah, so a lot of the reshoots was that, just kind of creating the connective thread between all these sort of scenes in the film, and yeah, making it flow. So, and we learned that in the post process, and I kind of always had an idea that there would be that, but like, what would be cool and what would work with the vibe, I guess, after these scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So everything was shot in 2022, or did you come
Everything
back
was shot in 2022.
2022?
Yeah.
And then do you spend, how long did it take to edit?
Yeah, I got a rough cut done in about 5 months, I want to
Okay.
say, but it there was a lot of re-editing after that. Just cleaning things up, seeing what worked, what didn't, cutting earlier into things, and cutting out earlier things like that. Yeah, I mean, it probably overall 7 months of post. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What would your biggest piece of advice if you're going into editing or post production on a feature, your first feature? What would be your biggest thing that you would go back and tell yourself or change?
I honestly wouldn't change that much.
No.
Like like,
Whether it's like mindset wise or it's like, oh God, I could have gotten that done. And
I mean, I've done so much editing in my life
yeah,
that
so
I
it just
kind of
came.
knew, but like, I guess to someone who hasn't really experienced this, realize that there's going to be severe ups and downs. There's going to be moments where you're like, you think you're God, and you're like, this is the best movie ever. And then within a week, you can be like, God damn, this is not working. Like, and, also show it to other people, because you can lose perspective pretty quick. I remember there's a scene like halfway through the movie where it's like they're encountering another couple. I don't know how much to give away here, but like,
Up to you.
yeah, there's a scene in the movie halfway through where it's like essentially the main character, like this couple, discovered that there was like an affair kind of happening, a mild level of affair, and they encountered another couple in it, and it gets a little weird, with what it's about. And I was editing that and thinking like, man, this is not working. This is weird, and people don't get it, and this is going to be bizarre. And then when screened in front of people, it's like most people's favorite scene, like, or at least the funniest scene in the movie, and gets the most laughs in screenings and stuff. So it's easy to lose perspective with this stuff, and it's always good to reset by having people watch it and seeing people's reaction. I mean, like, during those screenings, it's nice I barely watch the movie. I'm kind of just like shifting my eyes, watching people's reaction to the scenes more than I am watching the movie. Yeah.
Did it feel when you felt like that scene wasn't working, which is crazy to me, because that is there's a lot of funny scenes in the movie. That's the funniest scene in the movie. Did you have to like stick to your guns when it came to like, okay, this scene is like done? Did you have like a little bit more help or outside influence from other people just saying like, this is good, don't touch it?
Well, it's funny because it's like, I couldn't like just cut it,
No,
like,
right.
because it's like,
but the way you cut it, or
Oh,
just
yeah.
pieced it together, when it comes to him walking in, him sitting down, him not really saying anything, and then cuts back to your reactions. It's like pieced together perfectly.
Yeah.
Did that just like come naturally, or what was that made it feel like it wasn't working?
I just thought the premise of it didn't work. Like, I thought the whole thing was just too weird, and I guess it wasn't.
No.
I should have leaned into that. I should have gotten more weird, probably, because that's the funniest scene. But like, it was just doubt, and that's going to happen in post production. Is you're going to doubt yourself at some point, and got to just plow through. Honestly, just got to keep going. But in regards to the editing, yeah, it's just all kind of instinctual. Like, so much. I mean, the movie is so much dialogue. It's just so much that, and usually it's just kind of following the rhythm of the dialogue. It's
Sure.
very rhythmic. So that's kind of how I just edit. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, your experience editing for years and years and years
Yeah.
is just like, it's so important, especially like comedic timing in comedy. You can see a lot of comedies today that just feels weird. Feels like somebody that doesn't truly know comedy like cut it together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I think that's
right.
maybe what I found like refreshing from yours.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah.
Now that I'm like thinking about it now,
It
the way
might.
it's cut together.
Yeah, that's one thing I will kind of toot my own horn in.
Yeah.
Is like I
You
think
know that.
I think I'm a pretty good editor. But I think the key to it is like just trying to be natural with it. I mean, that's all kind of everything I want. I want it to stay fairly natural.
Mhm.
And I think it's just if you can match the editing style with the writing and the directing as much as possible, then you're kind of good. You
Yeah.
just stay on tonally on course. I think is the key.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we get to the end of production. End of production is when 23 or if, final cut. When do you have a final cut?
2020. God, 2023. Yeah.
Like end of 23?
Yeah. I mean, I was putting in credits and stuff later
Sure.
on, but yeah, 2023. Yeah.
Okay. And then what comes for somebody that has no idea? They want to make a feature. You finish your movie. You're probably already actively thinking about, whether it's film festivals, what you want to do with it, how you want to get it out there, how you want to try to get money back. What's the first thing you're thinking about or doing?
Um, at that point, it was like hopefully finding a distribution channel, like trying to get it out there in the world. And some of the process of that is the film festival stuff
Yeah.
and submitting it to film festivals. That was kind of the first move in that direction. And yeah, just figuring out how to get it out in the world. And so yeah, it was film festivals. That was kind of the first route.
Okay. How many did you guys submit to?
A lot.
Yeah.
Over 20, 25,
Okay.
25, something like that. 30, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think we played it 6 or 7 or something like that. And
Okay.
yeah, it was
That's awesome.
great. Yeah. It was
That's sweet.
yeah, it was great. Yeah. I mean, what was ultimately great, and we ultimately found distribution through the festivals, but yeah, it was great getting to play it in front of a crowd and meet a bunch of filmmakers as well. That
Yeah.
was cool. It's just a cool experience. Yeah.
How was it? How were you feeling going into first screening in a movie theater of your first feature?
Oh man, that was rough. Like I mean,
Rough.
it ultimately went great, that screening, but
Okay.
yeah, it just I had never done that before, and so it was like I kept it together in front of people, but man, I was a wreck. Yeah.
What types of feelings were you having?
Uh,
Where was
chest
the
pains, just
Let's get
heavy
back.
chest pains.
Where was the first screening
We
in front of people?
played at Sedona.
Sedona.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was cool. It was like a packed theater, big theater,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was just those minutes beforehand, and I like sat next to a friend who's also a director, and she's like pretty successful director, and she really hadn't seen too much I'd done, and she's like, and I think she said something along the lines of like, I might look at you differently after this movie. And I was like, yeah, you might. Like if it sucks, yeah, you might not like think as highly of me. Um and
Didn't suck.
luckily it didn't suck.
No.
Yeah, that was
Or even think of you differently after that that middle scene with
Yeah.
the two couples.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
too.
No.
So how did you? So you were anxious, like nervous?
Oh my God, yeah. It was like terrifying. Yeah. It was probably one of the most terrified moments of my life. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because I just am always second guessing everything, And so, yeah, it was spooky. Yeah.
More than going into like production. That was.
I
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
production is probably just a way different type of like anxiety.
Yeah. That production was pretty rough. Yeah, I mean, like that was scarier. But I mean, that was more logistics and like, am I just gonna lose a bunch of money? Like, am I going to mess this whole thing up? Whereas the screening in front of people, you're like, am I going? Should I? This is like do or die. Like, if this sucks and everybody hates it, am I just going to have to completely change my path in life? Because if people think this totally sucks, I probably shouldn't be doing this anymore. But luckily, people liked it. So yeah.
You had a great reaction.
It was great. Yeah, it was
That's
really
so great.
fun. Yeah, people loved it.
Is that like a peak, like a pinnacle, or like?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that was great.
that has to be
That
unbelievable.
halfway mark, that scene in the halfway mark, that
Were
was.
people going nuts?
Yeah, people clapped. It was like a
Are you
full.
serious?
Yeah, it's like such a thing online to lie about people clapping about something, but people legitimately clapped after that scene.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, something's working.
So you play at different festivals. What did distribution look like or turn out to be?
So it's kind of like a hybrid of like, basically we went with this company Indie Rights, which
I saw that.
yeah, and they were really helpful with getting us on Amazon, and we're going to be doing on other platforms as well pretty soon.
Awesome.
Yeah. So just having them to connect us and stuff was great, and just being able to put it out into the world and get some marketing going with it as well. It's been great. Yeah.
That's sweet. Do you have any sort of advice when it comes to distribution or things to stay away from for somebody that's just made their first feature and they're...
Lock down your music rights. Lock that down very early. Yeah.
Was that an issue?
That was a huge issue. Yeah. Just having to switch songs at the last minute because you can't getting the rights, or like, you use something on YouTube or something where you are in correspondent with the artist or something, and you're like, I'm going to send you the contract, and then they don't sign it. And so you have to go back and re-put in different music and remix the whole thing again. And yeah, it's a huge pain.
So artists just weren't like responding, or the representatives weren't responding, or...
Yeah, some of them were just couldn't be bothered, I guess. I was offering to pay them.
Really?
Yeah.
Like how much money?
Not much, but it was it was something, paying for them to have something in the movie and have it played, and yeah, it just felt like...
Were they big artists?
No, no, not at all. But hey, it's just like you have to really, So lock that down, and it's just another circumstance where I was like doing it kind of all by myself, getting all the deliverables ready for distribution, and it's a lot of work, honestly, just to have everything perfectly mixed, have all the paperwork signed, the legal paperwork, getting all that stuff configured, getting all the marketing materials in place. It's a lot of work so get a team, get somebody to help you. Yeah.
Okay. Anything further with like distribution, or what if what would you recommend for somebody like, people, there are still people out there like make your own movie, the Mark Duplass's, and that's such an old speech, but that's kind of what it comes from, that they do make their own movie. Where do you see a future for like distribution? Is it like Patreon? Is it, how does that look?
I don't know. It seems to change so quickly, in how people
can get money.
In regards to like funding, you're talking about.
I mean, make their money back, or Well,
Good,
we can
good luck.
we can talk about that, and you can be as not specific or as specific as you want to. You said how much money kind of went into it.
Yeah.
What can somebody kind of expect from like nowadays a successful movie? And obviously things aren't like over yet because it's still out to rent, to buy, which you should.
Yeah.
Everybody should go buy A Fantastic Relationship, out now on Amazon.
I think, I mean, just try, at least if you're making your first film, like try and make something within budgetary boundaries, you know? Like
Yeah.
if you can shoot something for cheap, that will help, you know, be on the back end so you can recoup, you know, like, and just really, yeah, make something that, you know, obviously you're passionate about, but
Mm-hmm.
something that's manageable, something that you can hopefully make some money back, you know? And I think you have to kind of think of it in the long term too.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing, is that this thing is going to have a life
Yeah.
forever, you know?
Yeah.
And as you build up your catalog of films, as you keep producing things, you know, that thing will continue to live on. And that is, I think you have to think long term with distribution. Like you have to think of it as a career, as a life of producing this stuff, and you know, going back to it, you know, going back to this project and watching it live on, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool. Yeah. I mean, how do you think there's an avenue in the future for filmmakers, to a better avenue to make more money on this type of stuff, whether it's, whether it is a Patreon? Do you think that that could ever happen? I've heard that like so many times before, whether it's like people buying a movie on YouTube
Uh-huh.
and that actually like working. Do you think that's viable?
Yeah, what is it? Brian Jordan Alvarez. Have you heard of that?
I've heard that name.
He did like that television show. His like he plays like but he had a anyway. He did that where he produced a film and put it all on YouTube and was able to make money back on. I mean, he shot it for super cheap. So yeah, that could be an avenue for it. I mean, I think right now we're just going through very much a like transitionary
Yeah.
process. You know, you were saying Patreon, like, what do you mean by that? Like,
Or some sort of like, I mean, obviously you can go on to like Amazon Prime
yeah,
and go like buy that.
yeah,
But there's also, a million of other things on Amazon
yeah.
Prime. Um, do you think that in the future, I'm just thinking outside of the box, for like these types of movies, for people that want these types of movies and will pay to see these types of movies, is there a platform out there, do you think, in the future that could work?
I think there's always going to be a demand for these kind of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. What platform that ends up occupying? I guess I think there's probably a lot smarter people than me that will understand that. I mean, you know, Amazon seems to be that
Sure.
on some level. Tubi is another kind of
Yeah.
platform. I guess Google Play. I don't know. I
Yeah.
haven't really messed with that.
No.
YouTube on some level, but
Sure.
that's kind of the present world. I think that occupies. I don't know what the future looks like, honestly, but hopefully it's tough because there's like the platform it exists on, and then there's just getting the word out to people,
Yeah.
and oftentimes they go hand in hand. How far it is up on the Amazon platform often dictates who sees it, you know. And
Right.
so it's yeah, it's a combination of the both, and I'm not exactly sure like
Right.
where these movies are going to exist quite.
Yeah. 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 I was just, I mean, how has it gone? So the movie has been out for a little while, not that long, right? Like a
No,
month,
like couple weeks.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, I honestly am not gonna know
Really?
until
I guess
about
I
a
don't.
month.
I guess
Yeah,
I have no idea how that type
yeah.
of stuff works.
I think it's about like, at least with Amazon, I think it's and the distributor I'm with. You get you start hearing back in about a month,
A month.
or a month after it comes out of, you know, get a check and you figure out how much people are seeing it. Um, but yeah, I think so. I can't really say,
Do you
but
get that from Amazon? That comes to you from Amazon, or where does that?
I
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I don't know.
We'll find out.
I know I've looked at the contract before and I kind of forget, but yeah, I mean it's like it seems to be doing well, and I on social media I've been hearing from a lot of people that I have never met, and so that's a
That's
good
awesome.
sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the responses all seem to be great, and yeah, I mean that's all I can hope for, and keep marketing it and putting it out there and telling people
Sure.
in the world that this is a good movie and you should
You should go see
fucking
it.
watch it. But yeah, it's been going great. Just from what I've seen thus far, it's a little bit. Well, you're operating in the dark at the moment,
Right.
but I think it's going to be. It'll probably be coming to light in the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So what is next for you, or what do you want to do next?
I want to make another movie.
You do.
Yeah.
You do have
Yeah.
that drive to this, like, let's fucking gear up and just do it again.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's tough because it's like I have taken a step back and been like, what is the landscape looking like in the next 10 years for
Yeah.
how people watch content? It's crazy. I know people that were like professional, showrunners and stuff in the industry, and they're doing like vertical content right now.
Yeah.
And it's like where it's I have taken like a little bit of a step back and been like, where is everything going right now? And yeah, I would like to make another movie, but yeah, just kind of figuring out also what is out there, how people are ingesting media, I guess, right now. And it'd also be nice to make like smaller scale things as well. So yeah,
Sure.
just got a couple projects.
Do you? I mean, are you on the positive side of things?
Oh yeah,
You are.
yeah. I mean, I think I'm in too deep at this point to like to give up at this point. So yeah, no, I'm in for the long haul, and it's just like figuring out like what is it looking like in
Yeah.
the next 10, 15 years of how people watch this stuff. Is it movies? Is it shorter form? Whatever it is, I want to make stuff in it. Yeah. So I think
That's awesome.
yeah.
Good for you, man. That's awesome, because again, I hear so much of other filmmakers, actors, cinematographers, and they don't feel good. And it's, it can feel dark, but I just feel it's not just going to go away. Like, this industry has been around for a very long time. There's still people watching stuff. They still want to watch like good stuff, funny stuff. Things can hit the algorithm and things can take off.
Yeah. I think people are always going to like want to watch stories on some level. It's just about what format that takes.
Well, things that they can relate to.
Yeah.
Things that they can see themselves in, or they can, relate to that feeling, or I think that's like everything. They can see, like you were saying, seeing that like honesty. Like you were talking about, like acting in different sketches, and let's just be as real as we can be. And I think that's what really like breaks through, even in, as much as I hate like the content game, I think that's what long-term creators, that's who really like kind of break through, is like people see kind of like the real them. And I think that if you can find a way to tell interesting stories, be real, be relatable on camera, and make awesome movies and TV shows, it's gonna like break through.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
what you got to do.
I believe so.
So are you writing that next project, or do you have that thing in mind that you want to do next?
Yeah, I got a couple scripts working on, and shorts, and potential series and stuff. I'm always writing, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, got some ideas. Yeah,
that's awesome. Are you gonna change how you did things at all, if you were to go into like the next like feature?
Yeah, you learn from your mistakes. obviously try to make it more of a team effort, because
You were doing
I
a lot.
definitely added some gray hairs on that on that last production. So yeah, if I can just push that on to other people, I think that would be great. There's a lot of people I know right now who are kind of making films as teams, and
Yeah.
there's a guy I know, Pete O's, who does a lot of kind of. I mean, he is a one man band. He shoots these movies where it's just him filming them, and he runs audio on lavs, and he makes these movies, and
Like scripted stuff or these like documentaries?
they script it as. I mean, he has a rough idea for a premise, and then he scripts it with the actors as it goes on. And
That almost sounds like a whether it's like a Harmony Korine or
yeah,
like a fuck, what's his name? Joe Weinberg?
yeah, just Swanberg.
Swanberg.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, Win It All. He did all those mumblecore
yeah,
movies. That's kind of what they did. That's interesting.
yeah.
I need to check that out. What's his
Yeah.
name again?
Pete O's.
Pete O's.
OHS. Yeah,
OHS.
he just shot something with like Charlie XCX, which is like
Oh, wow.
nuts. Which stars one of the actors in my movie. So
Who?
check it out. Will Madden.
Oh,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah, he
That's
plays
crazy.
like Charlie XCX's like husband in it or something. So yeah, he's
Holy fuck. I
yeah.
have
Check
to,
that
I have
out,
to see
whatever
that
it
movie.
is. I haven't seen it, so yeah.
Is it out?
I don't think it's out yet. No.
But that's cool. I mean, even hearing about like different cool projects like that, obviously that's, one man band type of
Yeah, shows
production.
how far you can go. And then another person I like to bring is Jim Cummings. If anybody is out there has heard of him, he's
Yes.
very much a indie producer who's sort of making it happen on his own terms. So
That's
yeah.
how I first got clued in on you
Oh yeah.
from that movie. Because from beta test.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're unreal. You're unreal in that.
Yeah. Play a
I was like,
psychotic
no
agent.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I saw your stuff on social media that you were coming out with this movie, and then I was like, that's the guy from beta test.
Yeah.
You were the Asian guy in that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You're close with Jim then?
Yeah. Hey, he's a good dude.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And he's out there in the trenches. I feel like fighting
Yeah, he's
for
trying.
independent filmmaking, which is great.
Yeah, he seems like he's like the Mark Duplass type, or he's just like kind of carried that message forward of do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I feel like us having this conversation, that's kind of what it comes back to.
Yeah.
Is like you could probably wait a long time to get something made traditionally,
Oh yeah.
especially today. And it's just
Yeah.
good on you if it does happen. That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
For the rest of us though, it doesn't seem like it really happens.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got to make your own stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Well, you inspire me. I loved the movie. Seriously,
thank you, man.
everyone should
Appreciate
go
that.
watch A Fantastic Relationship on Amazon Prime right now.
Right now. Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on. This has been incredible. What type of stuff have you seen recently that like really inspires you? Has there been anything, whether it's a movie, TV show, whatever? What have you seen recently that you're like, that's cool?
I dug Friendship. Did you see that?
Fuck yes,
Yeah,
dude. I
that's
haven't
pretty
talked to
funny.
anybody about it because
Yeah.
like it hasn't been out. It's I'm from the Midwest. It's not like out there yet, and it is unreal.
Yeah.
When did you see it?
I saw it like a week ago. Yeah.
What night did you see it? Where?
I saw it at the Grove like
Yeah,
on Saturday or something. Like yeah.
because
yeah.
even in LA, it's only showing at like Century City or the Grove.
Well,
But I think it's expanding like this week or weekend. I don't know. I was like looking at like I need to like, 'cause I'm such a huge like Tim Robinson fan
Oh yeah.
that I was like I got to get in and see Friendship as soon as possible. And oh my god, it did not disappoint.
Well, it's just nice that like comedy kind of broke through into, I wouldn't say the zeitgeist, I guess, but like it's broken through as a major comedy movie, which
Yeah.
is very inspiring because there aren't that many of those anymore.
No,
So,
no, and it is a weird movie. It'll be interesting to see how it does.
Yeah.
Like at the box office here and this next weekend, I think like per screen average they were doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But it is a weird movie. But
And just to have an unlikable kind of
Oh my God.
protagonist,
Yeah.
like
Did you
I
see?
was all into it.
Did you
yeah.
see it in like a full crowd?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was great. Yeah,
It was
it was
hot.
super fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was fun. Oh man. All right. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Bridge
you, man.
Stewart.
Yeah.
Again, a fantastic relationship. Go buy it now. Thanks so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
man. All right.